Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for DDSB's Audit Committee meeting, November 6, 2025. Apologies for the late start, just dealing with some technical difficulties. It will be my pleasure to read the acknowledgement. Our chair, Michelle Arsenault, is having some technical difficulties, and so it's my pleasure to act as chair until she's able to join, and perhaps even continue after she joins if she doesn't have the ability, technology-wise, to act as chair. The Durham District School Board acknowledges that many Indigenous nations have long-standing relationships, both historic and modern, with the territories upon which our school board and schools are located. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. We acknowledge that the Durham region forms a part of the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, the Mississauga peoples, and the treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation. It is on these ancestral and treaty lands that we teach, learn, and live. Can I ask, please, are there any declarations of conflict of interest? Seeing none, may I have a mover and a seconder, please, to approve the agenda? Carolyn, thank you. Mark, thank you. Any additions or concerns with the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving? Thank you. That is approved. May I have a motion, please, and a seconder to approve the minutes of the September 17, 2025 Public Audit Committee meeting minutes? Moved by Matthew, seconded by Mark. Thank you. Any concerns with the meetings, additions, deletions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you very much. Those meetings are adopted. And now into the business. Financial process and the 2024-2025 financial statements. It's my pleasure to welcome and introduce Melissa Durward, Senior Finance Manager, who's joining us this evening to present the report. Melissa, please.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Tonight's report can be found beginning on page 4 of the package. The purpose of the report this evening is to provide the Audit Committee with an overview of the financial process and also to present the financial statements for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. It's also presented in response to compliance requirements outlined in the Education Act, as well as OREG 36110. In section 5 of the report this evening, we've laid out some details around the financial process for the board. The first infographic we have there for you demonstrates the different layers of financial government, the 3 layers being the Education Finance Committee, Audit Committee, and Board of Trustees. Continuing on through the report, we've listed some more details around those different processes, committees, as well as participants in the different stages of the financial process. We've also outlined for you the different stages in the budget process cycle, as well as the financial reporting cycle. And you will note that we are in November, the final stage of the financial reporting cycle for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. And these financial statements present the actual results for the year and will also help to inform the budget process that will begin early next year for the 2026-2027 school year. Included as Appendix A to the report this evening are the draft audited financial statements as audited by Deloitte. I'm very pleased to report that we have again received a clean audit opinion this year. Included in the financial statements are the consolidated statement of financial position. Includes some key figures there, the financial assets of $457 million, which is your cash, your accounts receivable, those types of things. The financial liabilities at the end of the year of $1.5 billion. Those are your accounts payable, any accruals we have, as well as any debt that the board is carrying. And finally, the non-financial assets of the board, 1.3 billion, which is primarily composed of the tangible capital assets of the board, which is the buildings of the board, land, those types of things. Also included in the statements, the consolidated statement of operations and accumulated surplus, total revenues for the year of 1.1 billion, and total expenditures of 1.1 billion for the year. Along with the financial details in the statements, you'll also find several pages of notes talking about the accounting rules applied and some of the assumptions and things like that. Of note are the notes surrounding the details related to retirement and other employee future benefit liabilities, the capital loans that the board holds related to construction of new builds, and the tangible capital assets of the board. In section 10 of the report tonight, you'll find the recommendation. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks very much, Melissa. Appreciate you presenting that report. Questions from committee members? Jawad, please.
Thank you very much, Melissa. And thank you very much for your team for providing all information to the auditors, and thanks to the Deloitte team as well for presenting this report. I think I have gone through this report pretty standards, and the good thing is that we have a clean opinion from them. So that's a good thing. You just mentioned about some assets, and I do see this thing. I think we have increased our temporary borrowing because of the capital expenditure, which I think in the note number 9 you have mentioned, which I think will be come down once we get the funding from the ministry. That will come down, that borrowing.
Yes, so we have increased our short-term borrowing. That covers off kind of two buckets of things. One being construction of new schools and any major repairs to existing schools. We have 4 new schools opening in September of 2026. We've just opened 2 elementary schools. So certainly increased expense happening there as we proceed through those projects. The other short-term financing that we incur is for the EDC deficit for the board. And the EDC deficit is as a result of continued site purchases as we continue to experience growth in the district and have the need to buy sites to build more schools to accommodate that growth.
And I think we can see the same impact on the cash flow as well, where there's an annual deficit, and that is mainly because of the interest charge, which we see later in the expenses as well.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jawad. Carolyn?
Thank you. I'm looking on page 16 of the report, and under expenses, I have a couple of questions. The first one deals with administration. So in the previous years, so why is it that we're only spending 13 million, which is about 1/3 of what we spent a year ago on administration?
Sure. One of the things definitely of note would be in the previous year, we had all of the retro pays associated with Bill 124, a fairly significant expense, definitely. In terms of any other admin costs that stick out, nothing is coming to mind for me. I don't know, Dave or Jen, if there's anything else that sticks out for you, but that was definitely a significant cost, one-time cost in the previous year.
Yeah, I think it was actually a bit of a double whammy. I think there were the retro pays associated with Bill 124, and I think there was some collective agreement increases or related increases as well. So anyway, I do think that number is inflated over what we would normally expect.
Okay. A second question under expenses again is pupil accommodation. So a year ago, it was 166 million, but this past year it was only 107. Again, with the increase in students, I'm wondering why the decrease in pupil accommodation expense.
Same theories as the previous one would apply, certainly. Bill 124 and collective agreement retros. Also, we could see a flux in maintenance costs. Something that comes to mind for me is the upkeep of grounds in the winter and the summer. Depending on how that season goes, we may make out quite well in terms of paying the fees for grass cutting in the summertime, plowing in the wintertime. We can sometimes see savings there, just depending on how the season goes. Otherwise, fluctuations in the maintenance. Some years worse than others.
Okay, because we had budgeted 152 and only spent 107 million of that. So I just had to have clarification on those 2 points, but thank you.
Sure.
Trevor, I see your hand there.
Thanks, Dave. I was just going to suggest, like, just for those questions, if we wanted, you could go to note 12 of the statements that lays out the expenses by object, and it maybe would somewhat better answer some of the questions. Not that the answers weren't good, it shows the fluctuations between salaries and wages, employee benefits, and things year over year, and you can see those big differences on those lines. Just my 2 cents.
Appreciate that, Trevor. Thank you. Any other questions from committee members? Matthew, please go ahead.
I do have a question on the same page on the revenue, but first I did want to congratulate the team. To get a clean opinion is not easy, and you've got a lot of complicated accounting to do as well as note disclosure. So I don't want to bypass that and not recognize what Jawad has already said, but reinforce the fact that congratulations for all the great work that you've done. It's not easy to do that. Similar to Carolyn's question, just curious about the other revenue fluctuation. Again, the audit is a clean opinion, so this is a bit more of a curiosity question because the numbers are correct, because materially correct, because they are being presented that way. But seeing the other revenue fluctuations significantly year over year, 102 million to 14 million, and the budget is 40. Just at a high level of curiosity more than anything else as to why such a significant change. Sure.
The most significant change in that revenue line is related to our other ministry grants. So program grants that we get for specific programs, and that varies year over year in terms of what grants are in existence, as well as the timing of those grants, what period they run, how much has been spent. That's the main driver for fluctuations on that line.
Great, thank you very much. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Any other questions from committee members? Seeing none, there is a recommendation included in the package this evening in section 10. If everybody is comfortable, may I have a mover and a seconder for the recommendation, please? Matthew moved, seconded. Carolyn, thanks very much. Any debate on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the 2024-2025 audited financial statements, including transfers to and from internally restricted funds, that passes. Thank you very much, everyone. Much appreciated. On to other business. Anybody have anything for the good of the group? Seeing nothing, thank you. Our next meeting is scheduled for March 24th, 2026. We'll look forward to reconnecting then. May I have a mover, please, to adjourn the meeting? Thanks, Mark. 6:24, we will call the meeting adjourned. On to our in-camera session. Thanks very much, everyone.